one of the big features coming in the Midnight expansion that's been talked about many, many times over, the housing, right? It looks like with the recent updates Blizzard has dropped, player housing has kind of already begun. I mean, retroactive achievements, everything else, how you can start your housing journey today. Let's get into this with Bellular.
For years we've been saying that player housing has a potential to drive massive amounts of playtime if it's done right, and Blizzard kinda just proved it. It's even had the housing lovers in our guild literally log into the game this week and start blasting tons of content, just to prepare for when housing eventually drops. So, let me explain. Last week, Blizzard dropped a post finally revealing the most important part of player housing, how we're actually going to get the stuff that we put in our houses. And honestly, it was music to most of our collective ears. It was really good. Now, while they didn't say directly, the takeaway is they want us to feel like player housing has been part of the game this whole time.
Right.
So while you watch today's news, go and stockpile as many old reagents as your warband bank will fit. Now, Blizzard split it into 3 principles, right? Progressive journey, meaning that it's not something that you rush to finish when it drops. This whole thing's a journey, so for people who want literally everything, it is going to be, in Blizzard's own words, quote, incredibly difficult. Now, they don't necessarily mean extremely hard content, though they are
extremely hard. That's right. No, they did say, by the way, they talked about this, that like getting your first chair will be easy, getting your first table will be easy, filling out your home overall.
We have a realm to destroy.
Phantom, thank you for the follow, man. Welcome to our Scourge. Basically, filling out your home with furniture to start will be an easy part of this journey. It's like those rare, ultra rare items. Like if you really want to get everything, yeah, that's going to take you some time to do for sure. And that's, I think that's the right way to do this. Making it basically evergreen content, always something to do. Maybe there's nothing to do in the patch today. Hey, why don't I go try to grind out that new saddle chair that, you know, with the little strap on and everything else that I've been wanting to get from that dungeon. Yeah, those are things you're going to be able to do. Now, what kind of chair was I talking about right now? I don't know. Use your imagination.
They're going to put some rewards behind Mythic Plus and raids. They mostly just mean their raw time
investment. Classes about as much as we the chat are waiting for some quality tanking from Sam. But Sam, what the fuck is the point of new races and classes if you won't ever change from playing floor POV Blood DK?
What the fuck?
I heard that Blizzard will implement new classes and races only when you actually learn how to raid and do the mechanics. So chat, we are fucked. We ain't getting shit anytime soon. Strap in for another week of Sam dribbling shit about how great he is while wiping.
Thank you for that positive message, Lana. What a great community I have. Go fuck yourself. Okay, here we go.
Which is to say, there's a lot of stuff in this.
What the fuck?
The next thing then is core gameplay with variations.
Just trying to watch a damn
which
video.
Is saying items should come from basically everywhere. Housing is going to bring loads of new activities that we can do, but as a whole, it's going to integrate with everything else that's in the game. So as an example, say there's an item you really want. Well, the process of chasing that item may end up with you doing quests, doing professions, or even hitting up some instances. So essentially, there's a hell of a lot. Then third, the big one. Reverence for the past. Blizzard says they want your entire account history to feel respected when this feature launches, so you're not starting out from zero. If you've spent the last decade or two being an achievement hunter, maxing out reps, clearing all the raids, you'll basically log in and you'll have access to tons and tons of housing items.
Blizzard really honoring the no-touch grass, been playing this game for 20-year Andes. And that's what I love about this. A lot of times I feel like Blizzard's been hesitant in the past to really honor those players that have been playing this game for 20 years because they feel like, well, it's a barrier to entry then, and, you know, we're kind of favoring the guys who've been playing forever and not the guys who are joining the game for the first time. But here's the thing. You can go back and get all this shit. That's not going to be a problem. Now, one thing they did say was, like, say the Onyxia kill, right? If you got the Onyxia kill and you can hang the Onyxia head on your wall in your home, awesome. Now, what they're not going to let you do, and they've already talked about this, they haven't decided how they're going to do it yet, but they don't want new players to be able to just go kill old Onyxia and get the head. Because there's no difficulty there. You can just walk in, fart in the wind, and Onyxia is going to die if you just do the old version of her. What they wanted to do was basically create kind of updated or new versions of these fights to be able to get these things. So they want like I doubt it would be difficult, but a more an updated version of the Onyxia fight where you can go do that and get the Onyxia head just like somebody who did it back in the past, which to me is the right way to do it. Yeah, it gives more what's it called? It makes the whole decorating experience and everything better and more meaningful if you getting an item back when it was difficult to get is not just washed away because now it's old content. Yeah, that is dope. Yeah, I think it's very cool.
that progress will actually count. And the finer details all match up with this principle. As an
You
example,
one-shotted an Ixie already. Am I going to have the head or not? I don't know. I don't know how that's going to work. And maybe that's the right thing to do right now, Cadence, is do that before this shit goes live, because everyone who killed her before all this stuff happens will get the head. I don't know. I don't know if it's only going to count if you did it, if you got the achievement when she was actually live during her season. We'll see how that all works.
We'll take Mechagon. If they add something that's
How long?
Mechagnome themed,
Basically,
it's going to be
this is all supposed to hit Midnight expansion. It could be pre-patch stuff, so it could be next year. That could be when all this stuff starts to go live.
native to Mechagon, which, if my read of their intent is correct, means that there could be, say, a vendor in Mechagon. It could perhaps require achievement or reputation progress and be purchased with spare parts. Of course, spare parts were the currency from Mechagon. So the point is, it's going to feel integrated with stuff that already exists in the game. Basically,
Nice.
as if housing was there all along. Now, the degree of that, obviously, we won't know until it's out, because they say that they're going to continue fleshing out past expansions as they go with this feature. Now, that's led some of my guildies to basically go on an old content spree, just working towards old achievements and reputations that they may have missed, because Blizzard wants to make sure, and this is quoting them, all the time in Azeroth is worth something. That's pretty cool.
Very cool.
And specifically, they call out meta achievements. Now, we've got the Dragonflight meta.
What's cool about this is Blizzard, and recently the way things have worked out with the game is that it's become very seasonal. It feels like everything you did the past, 8 weeks or 3 months doesn't matter once the new shit hits, right? And this is the complete opposite. These achievements and this is all aesthetic, so it doesn't matter. It's not player power attached. But all these achievements and everything you've done in the past here, no, it matters. It matters. The guy who's playing for 20 years, his home is going to be a bit cooler than yours now. You can grind shit out and try to catch up and do a bunch of the stuff again. But the guy who's been playing for a long, he's going to have a badass home, as he should. He's been playing the game for 20 years. I think it's fine for Blizzard to kind of lean into that and say, well, you're a long-time WoW player. You deserve something for that.
The Shadowlands meta and the BFA ones all in the game right now, and patch 11.17 adds in the Legion meta achievement. Those,
Very cool.
by the way, are definitely going to have housing decorations attached, so yeah, you've got maybe the next 9 months to do those meta achievements, which honestly is enough time, but man, some of them are really involved. We get other hints through the screenshots in the article. As an example, they show Anixia's head as a reward for not just killing her, but from more dots. That's the achievement to kill her in under 5 minutes. That's a reference to a fairly legendary raid leader
What a great
rage
video
video from back in the day. Now, if that's the kind of thing that we can expect, then just raid clears won't be enough. We may actually want to start working on the glory style achievements that exist for those raids instead, which is pretty cool. So if you're missing any of those, it's probably worth going back and clearing those things up ahead of time so that whenever this feature drops, you've just got a bunch of cool shit to put in your house. Now, thankfully, Blizzard are not falling into the trap that they did with mounts back in the day. They are trying to avoid frustrating drop rates like with Invincible or the Ashes of Alar. That's going to be especially huge if you want, say, a massive house, because they've also revealed that decorations are single-use items. So if you want to set down 4 chairs...
This was interesting, and I was not expecting this, but it's not going to be like you can hang 16 Onyxia heads on the wall. Now, I thought that was going to be a thing, but then relating it to the furniture as well. So yeah, if you want to have 2 tables in your home, you can't just lay down the same table twice. No, this is like a legitimate inventory where you have to go get yourself 2 tables to have 2 tables. Interestingly enough, now they could be 2 different tables. I don't know if you can get the same table twice. I don't know how all that's going to work, but it's going to be something that certainly you can chase down. Like basically, when you walk into somebody's home, every piece of furniture, everything hanging on the wall, every mug on a table has a story behind it, right? They went out and they got that shit. They achieved something to get that, which to me is a pretty cool thing. It is. I think I wasn't a big player housing Andy, but I think the way they're doing it is certainly the right way.
You're going to need to get yourself 4 chairs. If you want 4 chairs in your Alliance house and maybe 2 chairs in your Horde house, then you're going to need 6 chairs. Now, they only showed off 1 actual item drop in their images, and
PvP should... Scars, if they don't involve PvP in any way, that's a miss. I'll be honest, that's a miss. They should. PvP players deserve some love too, especially if they've been playing with their PvP for 20 years, man. They deserve something out of it.
Argusian Crate. It's from the last boss of Seat of the Triumvirate. So basically, if you want to create an Argus-themed, I don't know, warehouse for some reason, with all these crates, well, that's the thing that you'll need to go and farm. Now, I know for some people this could feel a little bit like, oh, okay, so it's not just infinite customization, go mad. Yeah, it's not that. It's not like, say, Minecraft creative mode. But look, Minecraft builds matter a lot more in survival mode.
That would be a good one,
actually
Fib.
build it by hand. I think doing it this way is absolutely the correct move for a progress-based MMO like World of Warcraft. I have to imagine items got from achievements will work differently, but think about it this way. If you put in the effort to fill your house with copies of something, maybe expensive, maybe farmed, you can be kind of proud of that effort. Basically, you can kind of flex.
Yeah, you can flex. And one thing that I, harken back to with this first image here is the weapons and the stuff hanging on the wall here. To me, what this says is transmog is going to be something you could use to decorate, which is also a very cool thing to be able to hunt down and get. I mean, this shield back here, this goes all the way back to freaking Burning Crusade. Getting this shield. So, I mean, going back and getting some of these items so you can hang them on your wall, that looks really cool. Obviously, this is the Brewfest shield right here, so participating in holidays, events, also could be a cool way to decorate your home. It's just infinite possibilities. Really cool stuff, and I love the way they're implementing it all. Hanging ears on the wall for PvP people, that would be an interesting one for sure. Sam's house is going to be only one chair. Get it right, Cody. See, it's going to be one throne. That's right. The frozen throne you're going to walk in. You're just going to see Arthas Menethil's frozen throne in my family room. That's it, and I'll just be sitting on it. That's how I'm going to decorate my home. Obviously, I got it from Icecrown Citadel when I defeated him.
Is crafters and gatherers, right? They need to stay busy somehow. And that could be the hugest bit of news here. There's a lot going on for professions. Now, sadly, there's no new profession like woodworking. I would have loved that based on my RuneScape days.
Me too.
But instead, they're going...
I don't do professions. If they brought woodworking and tree chopping into the game, I would have done it. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Any kind of sim tree chopper, I love it. I love it. New World, that was my favorite part about it, was just chopping down trees. So if they ever did that, sadly, they're not going to. But of course, professions are tied into this thing. That was expected. The one that I'm wondering if they're going to tie it in is like the trading post. Like, are they going to give us furniture to purchase monthly through the trading post? Because that will cause people to burn through their trader's tender quick, which Blizzard wants people to do. They want people to continue to log in every month to get more trader's tender. So we'll see. I think it will. I think it will have involvement in the trading post.
Going to use the long history of existing professions to their advantage. It's fairly neat. This screenshot that they shared shows some classic inscription, right? It gets a recipe for a Brill coffin and a Brill coffin lid. Now, the coffin lid uses some existing classic materials, but it also uses a new one that's called ironwood lumber. Yeah, there's lumber that matters in the game now.
Yeah.
And the post says you'll need to gather this new type of decor reagent, but there's no details on how yet. If they added...
Wait, is this confirmed? Is this basically confirming that we are going to get wood chopping in the game? I'm telling you guys right now, I'm just letting you know. My stream is going to become 4 to 5 hours of me just chopping trees down if this happens. So you're just going to have to watch me do it. Because oh my God, if they bring wood chopping into this game, I will lose my shit.
There's no details on
how
Crafticus,
yet. Exactly.
If they added wood cutting to the game, I think playtime would increase substantially, if RuneScape's anything to go by. Thankfully, though, there's no wrong choice on professions here. Every crafter will be able to craft decor. Blacksmiths will be able to make metal things, obviously. Jewelers will be able to work with stone and gems. Enchanting makes magic items, like floating books and glowing orbs for your house. So go and level those old profession levels now. They will actually be useful. You can prepare for player housing. So, until Blizzard picks, say, another random day to go and drop a humongous glut of news, that's it for housing for now, at least. You can stockpile old reagents, you can level up your old crafters, and you can clear out those meta achievements. And if you don't want to do those things, at least you can rest easy knowing whenever you log in day one, holy shit, you'll have a whole bunch of things already unlocked for your house.
Playing for a while.
If I'm thinking about this from the business perspective, Blizzard probably loves the idea that a World of Warcraft player who remembers their heyday of Wrath of the Lich King, well, if they return to the game, say after a decade, for the player housing feature, and then find that their house is stocked full of things that they earned 10 plus years ago during Wrath.
That's cool.
That's a compelling way to get someone to resub.
Yeah, I agree.
Let's move on with the news. We have a huge but brief update on the Dinar situation. So last week, we talked about how Blizzard are stubbornly insisting that Dinars are for raiders only. Well, this week they actually acquiesced. Dinars will now come from either 4 raid bosses or 4 Mythic Plus runs, and the vendor will now include Mythic
I didn't
Plus
know about this
trinkets as well.
change.
This is a huge win for so many players. Massive improvements.
Wow.
They basically heard the feedback.
We talk shit a lot about Blizzard, but can we at least give them credit? They listened here, because I remember when this whole thing came out, we were like, damn, the Mythic Plusers got screwed over. They're going to have to raid a little bit now. Wow, they really listened, and they implemented that change pretty quick. When did this happen? 22 hours ago, but this video is like 3 days old, so this was like last week. Wow, shit. Okay, good. Nice for Mythic Plus players.
They basically heard the feedback.
Dinars, yeah, Dinars.
Now, there are still restrictions on myth level gear, so for Mythic Plus, that's going to be timing every dungeon at plus 12 or higher.
Okay.
But it does mean if you want your Giga Signet to carry into next season, well, you know what you have to do. As if the pace of news couldn't be even more insane, well, patch 11.1.7 is up in the PTR, and it's big, surprisingly big. Now, we already dropped a video on the biggest news, which is the rotation assistant and the one-button rotation thing. So go watch that video, but there's actually tons more to cover, including things that, well, are actually surprising. We'll do a full deep dive into the PTR once we've got some more hands-on playtime, but for now, here's basically what we're looking at. The patch is called Legacy of Arathor, and it's named after the story campaign that we're getting.
Great.
Basically, tensions between the Alliance and
Horde
are somewhat growing in the Arathi Highlands, so we need to go there and put a stop to it. It's got some elements and rewards that are unique to each faction, so if you've got 2 characters on either side, then you'll get a little bit more out of this. They even said that there were some story decisions you can make. That does seem kind of cool. Plot-wise, it's not any big...
Now, real quick, we've gotten into the patch. We know all about it. I've covered this news myself. But the Alliance and the Horde side of things, I was trying to think back. When was the last time that the Alliance and the Horde got, separate questline stories? It might be BFA. We may have... I think Shadowlands was basically the same shit. What came before? A Dragonflight? Yeah, basically the same shit. There wasn't really too much divergence between Alliance and Horde. I think we have to go back to BFA to the last time that we had separate quest lines doing things, and that's what we're going to get at 11.1.7. So pretty cool.
Shadowfall, Arathi, or Beladar lore, but we'll be there with Faerun, and I'm sure we'll get plenty of little hints on how the Arathi Highlands differs from, of course, the Arathor Empire that she is from. That'll be fun. But then, and much more importantly, we have a new feature, and this feature is called Lorewalking. So, these are curated quest chains where Lorewalker Cho takes the player around different points in WoW's lore to learn everything there is to know about any certain topic. Now, there are 3 in this patch. They're focused on Arthas, Xalatath, and the Ethereals. And rather than just reusing old quests, which is what I had assumed, these are actually
new shit.
Adding a bunch of new quests and a bunch
The Arthas stuff looks amazing.
Let us lay waste to this realm.
Hairclog, thank you for the follow, man. Welcome to our Scourge. The Arthas stuff looks so cool, man. Returning to Stratholme, you play as Arthas. I mean, I can't wait. In terms of lore, 11.1.7 looks like it's chocked full of amazing stuff. And there's really cool toys to get from these quests if you complete them too, so that looks awesome. What the fuck would you know about separate quest lines, Sam? You only play... Well, yeah, I only play one toon, but I used to enjoy... I'd go on YouTube after I ran through my quest lines a lot of times to go see what the Horde side looked like. Because I don't... I am Samiccus, and Samiccus is yes, I only play one toon. This is true. But I still always found it interesting to look at what the other side was getting in terms of stories.
Of new lore, so it's a properly exciting feature. The Xalatath...
I remember personally, really cool stuff during BFA where my brother was playing Horde and I was playing Alliance... And I remember going through the quest line. If you remember, you played on the Alliance side where we plant the bombs under the ships in Dazar lore. That all happens leading up to the raid where we explode the ships as we enter the raid in a Battle for Dazar lore. That whole quest line happened, and I was telling my brother about it. I was like, "Bro, we planted bombs on your ships. Did you know?" He was like, "What are we talking about? There's no bombs on our ships." And then the raid, I had no idea that it was leading into the raid. And then when it happened, he was like, "Bro, those are the bombs you told me about last month." And I was like, "Yeah, I told you." It's so cool for that kind of stuff to happen, where you got players playing on the Alliance side that know things that the Horde don't, or vice versa, and it plays out in the game later on. You're like, "Oh shit, that's what my Alliance friend was telling me about." I always thought that was a really cool part of the game, and it just made it feel more immersive.
and ethereal ones are absolutely huge, so expect some lore coverage in those as soon as we've got it ready. There's also another one that was found in the data mining that's about the elves as well, so if you need to catch up in your elven history before midnight, hopefully that will have you covered. Much more on all this later, but this could be one of the best features that WoW's added in years. We've been long complaining of the lore being outside of the game, right? That sucks.
Yeah.
Now it isn't, and Blizzard are doing it in a way that's not just dropping a bunch of text. No, they're actually making quests. I think this is a great feature. If Blizzard can add to this regularly, then it'll be a fairly genius way to get more narrative content into the game and a real good frame in the form of Lorewalking faction.
Joanne or John, I thank you for the sub on YouTube.
Lorewalker Cho to just keep on making content. Okay, there is one more thing though. The last bit of new content coming is Overcharged Delves. Basically, it's a way to give Delves an extra lease of life towards the end of a season.
Greg's gonna love
There'll be
this.
new affix coming to some Delves and a new tree of traits to progress to counteract that added difficulty. And for your
Mythic
effort of
plus
clearing
Delves.
these, you will get a massive Titan Disc belt and a new mech suit mount, as well as some upgraded rewards across the board. And lastly, we're getting some more tier set recolors. The Diablo event, which was called Greedy Emissary, is coming back. It's got some tier sets data mined. Blizzard posted some as well. Of course, as the PTR develops and more data mining is done, there will be so much more to bring you. But until then,
These look
our
good, the
last
red
segment,
colorways.
what you can actually do this week. This week, it's the Dark Moon Fair. An extra 10% rep is going to go a long way while you're farming out all of those old reps for your housing or maybe leveling up some alts for your designated crafters. It's also time for new trading posts, so log in to check it out. The Drust weapon appearances, I think, are the highlight of this month for sure. They look awesome. There's a Fox outfit that's really great as well. Right now, it's also Battleground Week, so if you...
You know, like I could say things, but I'm just not going to say things because I already saw... You know, yeah, I know. I saw people wearing it. I know you love it, Cadence, and you know, this is WoW. This is WoW. We got official furry outfits now.
Great as well. Right now, it's also Battleground Week, so if you want to farm out some honor with comp stomps, now's your time, and that's a fantastic way to pick up old transmogs. Just, yeah, really good way to power farm out marks.
You know, Hair Clock, he said say something. I could go into the fact that like I could go on the whole rant about sexual fetishes in WoW and how what it means for the game and everything. You know, I'm just not going to do it. I'm just not going to do it. Okay, you know, people want to experience their sexual fetishes in the game. But, it is what it is.
Honor. Looking forward to the next reset. It's going to roll over to the Delve event. That means you can smash out some bountiful Delves, and because you'll get more Delve progress, that'll get you closer to the Nightfall Sanctum campsite reward. So definitely make use of that. As for other usuals, well, we're going to be staying at 5 catalyst charges this reset, considering that, you know, we only just got one, though we will be getting our 12th half spark. That brings us up to a total of 6 crafted items. So if you're happy to spend the gold and farm out the crests, you can bring a fresh character to an absolutely absurd item level through crafting alone with 0 RNG required. Now, unfortunately, we are still 2 resets away from the second wave of this patch, which is the Turbo Boost event.
We're actually only 1 reset away now, so there you go.
That will basically make gearing, well, faster. It will extend the the upgrade track in your gear. It's going to bring Dinars, and most importantly and excitingly, horrific visions. So, a lot to look forward to. It's a shame about the launch of the first part of this patch, but hopefully Nightfalls are going to be a little bit fixed up so that, you know, you can go to the event and have your character actually be assigned things to do.
Cool.
Anyway, that's it for now, and if you want to dive deep into what's happening with Blizzard finally tackling add-ons in a substantial way, watch this video next. It's actually proper exciting.
Very cool. Nice video. Player housing. I was never a person who asked for player housing in the game, but I do think it's going to be very beneficial to the game, and I love the way Blizzard's implementing it. I think they're totally on point with everything they're doing. Nice video here from Bellular.